Good morning. Did I say good? I gotta be careful here. It's a little bit slippy. Yes, I'm just arriving at the site for the stepping stone forest, or rather mini woodland as the council would call it, because this is really their baby. But as you can see, the weather is slightly inclement to say the least. But anyway, not to worry. I believe this has to happen regardless of the weather. So I'm going to be at the site in about 2 minutes, so I'll come back to you then. This is actually getting heavier, folks, and unfortunately I've just been informed the planting is actually cancelled, and that's official. So I'm just going down here to see a couple of people at the site, have a look around quickly, show you what it looks like in the snow. I almost said rain, but no, in the snow. And I'm just going to walk now. I'm just approaching the bridge, so I'm going to walk under the M50, and I'll talk to you on the other side. Now I'm just about to come out from underneath the bridge and into the open again, and nothing has changed. In that short distance, the snow has not stopped. So as I said, I'm just going to go up here and have a look at the actual site. It's a shame because the bare root trees will not survive. They have to go into the ground immediately. But I'll talk to John in a minute, let him explain that to you. Now, as you can see, just ahead of me, the steps up to the forest, or the forest site rather. So I'm going to leave you for a minute, because these are quite dangerous on a good day. On a day like today, for somebody like me, they could be slightly treacherous. So I'll come back to you when I get to the top. Now folks, as you can see, although I'm approaching the forest site, I'm walking through the woods toward it. Not up the steps, as I had already said, because I'm a coward, and I have to be honest, I was afraid I wouldn't get to the top of those steps without falling over. See what happens when you get old? You're worried about this kind of stuff. But no, in all honesty, they are very slippy with the snow that's formed already, and they're not normal steps, they're quite high, so it would have been a little bit dangerous for somebody of my age and health condition. So I'm walking through the woods instead, and I'm going to be at the site in a couple of minutes. Now I'm just coming out of the woods here, very close to the site. Isn't it amazing? People out walking their dogs. That's about the 5th or 6th person I've seen doing that. And I see John coming towards me in the distance. I think he's going to risk the steps, is he? He is. But you see, he's younger than I am and in better health. So up he comes. Good morning again, John.
Good morning.
I've met him already, folks, because he was the one who told me that the whole thing had been cancelled. So we're actually at the site now. It's just to my left here, but unfortunately
You can't see it.
we cannot see a thing. It's just a blanket of snow. I know it's beautiful to look at, but unfortunately for us, it's just not possible to work. So I'm going to ask the question that I spoke of a couple of minutes ago, and as I said, John is the man to answer it, not me. John, tell me why bare root trees can't be planted on a day like today, and what's going to happen to them?
Well, the main reason we can't plant today is because officially the event has been called off by the local county council. Very sensible, I think, under the conditions. Earlier on, I thought we would get away with it because it was only very light covering and it was due to turn to rain. And as you can see from the site, it's just a blanket of white. We just couldn't plant in these conditions, and the bare root trees probably wouldn't survive it.
Now, John, am I correct in saying that those trees now will die?
I'm going to try and do my best to cover them up, to try and protect them from the elements. They're in a crate, so they protect each other. The ones lower down will protect each other. So some may perish, but some will survive, and there are a number of them in pots that will definitely make it.
And under those conditions, how long can they survive?
Well, we'll be back tomorrow. We're hoping that this will blow over and that's, we'll have rain by the evening time, and then by tomorrow morning, these conditions will have passed, and then we'll be able to get planting, but we won't have enough bodies. That's the problem. We're going to have a crew of maybe 60, 70, 80 people out today, but that's obviously not happening now.
Now, folks, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. John is going to try and make sure that the trees are okay for tomorrow, and hopefully when we come back we'll have better conditions and we may still be able to plant. But unfortunately, as he said there, volunteers will be a problem, because we had a big number lined up for today. Upwards of 80 people were to come along. Sadly, it's been called off, as I've already said. So I'm just going to take a little walk up here, have a look around the area generally, because it really is lovely to look at, but sadly, as I said, not good for planting. So let's just have a look at what's in front of me. Now, I've just arrived beside John here, folks, and you can see the crates containing the trees. John is just trying to give them some extra cover, hopefully helping them to survive. And if you notice, in the background of this shot, there's a main road leading down to Temple O's. So you see, we've got this road on this side, and on the other side, just beyond the forest site, is the M50 motorway. John, how are bare root trees stored normally?
In dark, cool conditions, away from extremes of any temperature.
This is a mini woodland, folks, officially, not a stepping stone forest. The council just prefer to call their one by a different name. Now I'm back at the pathway leading down to the bridge under the M50. So I'm going to leave you here, folks, and walk back to the car. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Now I'm back at Dodder Valley Park this morning, and the snow that was covering the whole area yesterday has mostly disappeared. So I'm going to go down to under the bridge here, under the motorway, to the site of the latest stepping stone forest, although it will be called a mini woodland because it's under the auspices of South Dublin County Council. So it's not actually a stepping stone forest as such. Now, as I said, the snow has cleared, so I'm going to go down, see how the early arrivers are getting on, and hopefully the planting will take place as it should have done yesterday morning. But as I say, it didn't happen because of the snow, so off we go and see if it does happen this morning. Now I'm just coming out into the open from the bridge under the M50, and I'm about to approach the steps up to the forest site. You can see them just there in front of me. But when I came up this way yesterday, again, as I've already said, the whole place was covered in snow. But not so this morning, so hopefully the planting will go ahead. Let's go up the top and see what's happening. Well, as you can see, John has arrived, and already I can see a couple of volunteers have arrived. Good morning, John. Well, most of the snow has disappeared from the site, folks. Oh, it doesn't look too bad at all. I think John brought a sweeping brush. So, John, we're supposed to have 4,000 trees planted on this site.
Yeah.
What do you reckon for today?
very hard to know until we see how many volunteers we have. But I think we'd be doing well if we get half of them done.
Okay.
We also have 1,200 ground cover plants that have to go in as well. So that's an extra complication.
This is going to take all day.
Yeah, well, we'll be here until 4 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll break for lunch.
We'll have a chat later and you can tell me how we're getting on, okay?
Okay. There we go.
Now, there's a little addition to the whole thing this morning, folks. Here's Nolene and Fulham arriving. And Nolene is going to plant a tree of hope.
This is a special event at the start of this tree planting, which is to mark the 10th anniversary of the Tree of Hope. At the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. When we're weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we're lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. And as long as we live, they too shall live, for they are part of us. It's fantastic to see so many of you here. It really is. This is the sort of event that I always hold up to people and say, this is what community spirit and community action is all about. And it shows that climate action really does begin at home. You know, when there's so much bad news about what's happening, rather than sitting there and just looking at that bad news all the time, actually get out with a shovel in your hand. Not in my case, of course, because I wore my good shoes. But you know, you're doing something fantastic here. Not just that, you're not only are you planting trees, and these trees, as you know, grow so rapidly, they make a huge positive contribution in terms of our climate. But you're advocating for trees as well, right? So you're actually going out into communities and saying, look, we need more forestation in Ireland. We have a ridiculously low percentage of forest in Ireland, and this is a fantastic solution. Gets communities involved. So look, a huge thank you to Dada Action, to John Cribert, this man here, who's, you know, yeah, a him hummer, but an irreplaceable one. And a huge thank you to the South Dublin volunteers. You are absolutely amazing. You really are inspirational. You have done so much work. You really are just an object lesson in how to give back to the community, and we really thank you for it. And I know you were here yesterday in the depths of the snow, half the way here yesterday, you know. But that I tell you what, that is dedication. So look, thanks a million. Give yourselves a big round of applause and enjoy yourselves and keep warm. Thank you.
This is the biggest one so far, and in this case, it's a mini woodland as opposed to a stepping stone forest because it's council sponsored.
Yeah, there we go. You've said it all, Michael. You can see the snow isn't even keeping the volunteers away. Real dedication here this morning, and we're so lucky to be joined by the South Dublin Volunteer Centre. Really, we've got the most amazing volunteers in the community, many of them living in international protection, and they do such brilliant work. They add to our civic life in an amazing way. And we're also taking the time today to acknowledge the 10th anniversary of the Tree of Hope movement. Started here in the local area. There's now 81 trees of hope around Tala, and we've planted one here this morning just to commemorate all of those people affected by suicide, those lost and those left behind. And so it's been a very special morning here in Dodder Valley Park, and I'm delighted to be here too.
back here in Dodder Valley Park this morning. A week after the snow, I'm going to walk under the motorway again because hopefully John and a small crew are going to finish the planting of this particular stepping stone forest. Now I'm back at these steps, folks, but this time I think I might just manage to get up here. Okay, this time I made it. And I see John and a couple of other volunteers already here, and I think there's one behind me as well. Now folks, as you can see, I'm actually at the site in Dodder Valley Park, and if you look carefully you can see John behind me. You've all met John before, and here he is this morning, and he's going to give us a final word on this particular forest in Dodder Valley Park.
Well, this, I hope it's our final word about it. We're trying to finish off the trees that we didn't get planted when we had the snow on the Friday before last. So hopefully we'll break the back of it and well, actually no, finish it. But we've been at this now. There's been somebody on this site for the last 7 days planting trees.
Wonderful stuff, John. And I noticed, regardless of the weather, we had the snow last week, and this morning, as you can see by the way I'm dressed, it's absolutely bloody freezing. So there you have it, from the horse's mouth. This forest will be finished today after the snow and all the bad weather and all the other hiccups that we've had. Okay, so I'm leaving Dodder Valley Park now. I'm just heading back to the car, and hopefully the last half an hour or hour, John and the volunteers will get the rest of the trees planted. So the only thing left then, as far as this particular forest is concerned, in a couple of weeks' time there are some corporate volunteers coming along, because they were supposed to take part in the original planting until last week when the snow ruined everything. So that's it for me here in Dodder Valley Park, and the next time I come down here to visit the forest will hopefully be when they're 15 feet tall. Now I'm afraid that's 2 years away, but anyway, here we go. And I'm being barked at by a dog now. I gotta tell him I don't bark. Thanks for watching Wildlife Wednesday, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. For now, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.